Hey guys, what's up? It's Grace, and today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. And this tag was created by Chammy over at Reads Like Wildfire. Also, co-creator is Ellie over at Ellie Jane, so I will go ahead and link those two videos down below. I don't believe I was tagged by anyone, but whatever, I'm still gonna do it. And it sounds like a really awesome tag, so let's go. Question number 1 is best book you've read so far this year. And for that, I'm going with The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. I've been putting this book off for so long, and I finally picked it up this year. So glad, because this is one of my all-time favorite books now. It was incredible, it was moving, it impacted me in such a way that, I mean, I kind of expected it, but it surpassed my expectations, so I'm very happy that I read this. And if you guys are putting this off because it's gonna make you sad, please just go ahead and read it, because it's so important to read, and I don't think you're gonna regret it. Number 2 is best sequel you've read so far this year. I have 2 for this one because I can't choose between these 2 amazing books, and the first one is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson and The Winner's Crime by Marie Wachowski. I enjoyed these books so much. I didn't enjoy them as much as the first books in the trilogies, but still really good, still really enjoyable. Love the characters, love the heartbreak, love the epicness that ensues in both of these books. And if you guys haven't picked up the Winner's Curse trilogy or the Mistborn trilogy, go ahead and do yourself a favor and go pick those up. Number 3 is new release you want to read but haven't yet, and for that I'm going with Firefight by Brandon Sanderson, and this is the second book in the Reckoners trilogy. I really enjoyed the first book, Steelheart, and I want to read this. Don't know why I haven't yet, but I will soon. And I feel, if you guys don't know what this is about, the first book is Steelheart, and it deals with villains that were heroes but kind of corrupted by power, and oh, it's so good. And I feel like if you enjoy anything Marvel, you'll probably enjoy this. So it's, yeah, like it. It's action-packed and awesome. So again, if you haven't picked it up, go ahead and do that. Number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and for that I'm going with, what's it called? Layer of Dreams by Libba Bray, which is the second book in the Diviners series, trilogy, duology, whatever that's gonna be. And I enjoyed the Diviners so much. It's set in the 1920s, it's paranormal, the villain is Naughty John, he is freaky as hell, and I loved it. So yeah, I'm really excited. Hopefully they don't postpone it again, because it's been pushed back like so many times, so I think it comes out late August if I already said that, but yeah, I'm excited. Number 5 is Biggest Disappointment, and for that I've read a couple books where I've given them like 2 stars, but I wasn't expecting a whole lot from them, so I'm not gonna choose them. I'm just gonna choose a book that, yeah, I was expecting a lot from, but just was a little bit disappointed with, and that is The Killing Woods by Lucy Christopher. Lucy Christopher is one of my favorite authors because she wrote one of my favorite books, and that is Stolen, which I enjoyed so much, and it changed my mindset on a lot of things and made me look at things from a different perspective. So when I bought this, I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome, because it's depicted as a psychological thriller, so I was expecting it to be twisty and have this crazy reveal at the end, when really it was just kind of expected. The ending was just eh. And I would say it's more of just a plain old mystery instead of a psychological thriller. I did enjoy the writing, and I did enjoy the imagery, and the characters were good for what they were. I mean, I don't think you're supposed to love the characters because they weren't written in a way that you're supposed to. But I did enjoy this, and I would recommend it if you guys just like mysteries. I gave it 3.5 stars, so it's not the worst, but it's just not the best. Number 6 is Biggest Surprise, and for that I'm gonna go with To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. I read this Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy by Jenny Han, and I absolutely loved it, but when I read the synopsis, I just wasn't that intrigued for this book, but I finally decided, what the heck, I'll pick it up, and I'm so glad I did. It was so cute, such a great, I love the main character, Laura Jean. She's very immature, naive, and just kind of silly, but I think that those were her endearing qualities. I enjoyed them. I haven't read a character who was quite as innocent as she was in like a realistic setting, so it was just really refreshing, and I loved her family, and I loved the way, I just loved this whole book. It was just so much fluff and so much cuteness, and I can't say enough good things about this book. I definitely recommend it. And the main character calls her dad Daddy, and if you guys have seen my Bookish Pet Peeves video, that's like one of my biggest bookish pet peeves. I do not like when the main character calls their dad Daddy, especially when they're like 16. But for some reason, I was okay with Laura Jean saying it because she was just the cutest, and yeah, so 5 out of 5 stars for this book. Please pick it up if you haven't. Number 7 is favorite new author or favorite debut author, and for that I'm going with Renee Ahdieh. not quite sure if I correctly pronounced her name. She wrote, obviously, The Wrath of the Dawn, which is an incredibly beautiful book. I love the culture, I love the characters, her writing is phenomenal. And I'm not going to go into description about this book because I'm pretty sure you guys know what it's about. I'll just say it's a retelling of 1001 Nights, and it's beautiful. Can't wait for the sequel, and she's one of my new favorite authors. Number 8 is Newest Fictional Crush, and I have 2 for this because I cannot choose between these 2 people. And the first one is Gansey from The Raven Boys. I just read The Raven Boys this month and I fell in love with Gansey. He's so brilliant. He's so brilliant to the point that he's kind of just aloof about his own brilliance. He doesn't really have common sense, but he has like so much brilliance. His common sense is a little bit lacking, but he's amazing and I love him and I cannot wait to read the sequel. I think I'm gonna read the sequel this month. That's how much I'm in love with this book and the characters and the writing. So yeah. Second fictional crush is Levi from Fangirl. Levi is so funny. God, I love him so much. He works at Starbucks, which is even better. Like a guy who smells like coffee 24/7. Sign me up, you know? And Sarah over at Sarah Without an H made a good point in saying that we can attain a Levi. He is somewhere out there. You know, there's a guy with his characteristics and his personality. We just have to find him. So, you know, hopefully that day comes and that happens. But until then, I got this book that I could reread, you know? Yeah. Number 9 is favorite new character, and for that I'm going with Shazi from The Wrath of the Dawn by Renée Ahdieh. I don't know how to pronounce her full name, Shazi's full name, so I just go with her nickname. But she is everything I've ever wanted in a female role before. She's badass, extremely intelligent, so funny. She's hilarious, but like in a dark way. And she's very confident as well, which I appreciated a lot because a lot of female roles are pretty, I don't know, like insecure about themselves. So it was nice to have a badass, confident lead, and she reminded me a lot of Kestrel from the Winter's Curse trilogy, which is, she's just one of my favorite characters of all time, and I love them. Shazi's cool, so yeah. 10 is a book that made you cry, and I would go with The Book Thief, but I already chose that for my favorite book of the year. But just know about that book, it did make me cry a lot. But another book that made me cry was A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I don't have the physical copy on me right now because I lent it to my best friend and she really needs to read it. And but yes, that book made me cry. It's such a moving book. It's a book where you kind of just, you know, the message I got from it was just to accept the truth and things are inevitable, and it was just so beautifully written, and it was my first Patrick Ness book, which I enjoyed so much. So yes, great book. 11 is a book that made you happy, and for that I'm going with The Martian by Andy Weir. This book made me happy on so many levels. It was hilarious. It also showed me, or reminded me, how amazing humans are and how amazing just humanity is in itself. And I think, especially kind of in today's society, we're always like, I hate people, or the planet is going to hell because of people. But I don't believe that. I believe that humans are amazing. And just because, you know, some humans are not the best doesn't mean we're awful in a hole. And I love this book, and it restored my faith in humanity, and it's such a great book. Again, it's a recommendation. If you guys haven't read it, read it. Number 12 is favorite book to film adaptation, and the only book to film adaptation I've seen is Insurgent, which I didn't like in the slightest. I didn't really like Insurgent the book, but the movie was kind of even worse. So yeah, I just didn't enjoy that. Also, I haven't seen any, so I can't really answer this question. Number 13 is favorite video you've done so far, and I really haven't thought about that, so I'll kind of just like look through my videos and I'll link it down below. Number 14 is most beautiful book you've bought in this year or received, and for that, where are you? Here you are. Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. This book is so beautiful. You've got this great texture, this great color, like gold and black, and this great spine. Look at the end pages. They even got deckled edges. Like, they really outdid themselves with this book, so gorgeous. And number 15 is what books do you really, really need to get to by the end of the year? And for that, The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien and the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. I haven't read those, guys. It's a shame, and I really gotta do it. I keep saying I really gotta do it, and I haven't, but I really do need to. So it'll happen eventually. Just the pressure is really getting to me. Not really, yeah, kinda. But I will get to them. Don't know when, but it'll happen. So that was the mid-year book freakout. If you guys want to go ahead and do this tag, I boom tag you. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a lovely day. See you in my next video. Bye.